Hello, this is Grant Hughes of Grant Hughes Investigates on YouTube. Please hit that like button, share the video, and subscribe. Today's video is regarding Nancy Guthrie, the mother of Savannah Guthrie of the Today Show. And apparently Nancy has another daughter, and on Saturday, the other daughter and her husband, I think the other daughter is Annie, picked her up, took her out, whatever, they played mahjong, etc., and then dropped Nancy off at home at about 9:45, let's say, and then sometime between 9:45 and the next morning, because she was supposed to go to church, she didn't show up, so people got concerned. She probably never missed church, so it was very unusual. And they went there, and they found that Nancy was missing after going to her home. Now, her home is on this road right here. It's wide open spaces. Each piece of property probably has like an acre, and this is her property right here. That's where she lives. Now, if you go up into the air on Google Earth, it appears that this is the garage here, and there's a swimming pool, backyard, pretty secluded little area where you can, there's trees blocking the view from everybody else, but you're not, isolated. There's homes all over the place. It's just that you have privacy with the different trees. All right. Now, the speculation has been out there that it would be like, why would somebody take her from the residence? And, maybe there's a ransom that's going on. Now, it turns out that TMZ today is reporting that there was a ransom note sent to them after a press conference today. Now, listen to this portion in the press conference. When we were watching this earlier today, I said, wow, they might have a ransom note.
Follow up on an answer that you gave earlier. You were asked if there were any. You were asked if there were.
Actually, the first reference to it is right here. So let me put that at the beginning. So here's how that goes right here.
The neighborhood, I know you're looking at video, different surveillance camera, anything that we should be looking at, different cars.
I have nothing in that regard.
Have any demands been made by kidnappers?
We have all kinds of investigative leads we're working on.
So if somebody says, have there been any demands made by the kidnappers? We have all kinds of investigative leads we're working on. Well, why not? Wouldn't you just say no if that wasn't the case in this situation? And that's not a lead asking that question. It's saying, did you get a note? And we're working on leads. So in my opinion, it seemed like they had already received a ransom note. And then later on, an astute person in the audience, one of the reporters, asked a follow-up.
Follow up on an answer that you gave earlier. You were asked if there were any. Last question. You were asked if there was any ransom, and you didn't say no. You said we're following all leads. Does that mean a ransom has come in?
We're following all leads we have. That's all I can tell you.
Yeah, so you could almost see it in his face that they did receive something like that.
We've got hundreds of leads, and it's from you that produce those leads by telling people we need help, and I'm grateful for that. But I'm not going to get into all that. We have a team designated to deal with all of our
and
leads.
You can see this FBI agent back here is like, oh boy.
Leads, they're looking into all of that. We are sharing all of our leads with the FBI. They are helping us in evaluating those leads, how good they are, where that priority should be, and so we're just. But look, I know you guys are doing your job, and you're doing a great job. But we have a job to do too, and I really need to back away from this for a while, and we'll see you unless something breaks. We'll see you Thursday morning. PIO will give you a time frame. I'm guessing somewhere around 11:30.
So it was a very short press conference, and it was just really questions, and that seemed to be the one that derailed the press conference, and they got the hell out of there. And then TMZ reported that they got an alleged ransom note demanding big money and in Bitcoin currency, and it was after the press conference. And so Bitcoin's really hard to trace, and so I'm just wondering if this is just somebody trying to capitalize on this. And then if you look at this, Pima County put out a release that says, "We are aware of reports circulating about possible ransom notes regarding the investigation into Nancy Guthrie. We are taking all tips and leads very seriously. Anything that comes in goes directly to our detectives." See, it said it almost the same wording. We're taking all tips seriously. It almost feels like whoever sent this to TMZ perhaps sent it to other people as well, and the tip apparently had, some physical comments about the physical condition of the house, etc. They were trying to prove who they were, and it's interesting, but it came after the press conference, so that seems a little dicey. However, maybe they had sent it to multiple people, and maybe TMZ just didn't get it until they released it. I mean, right, when they released it, it was after the press conference, but maybe the email came in earlier. But then look at this. Right when I was starting to make this video, look at this crap right here. This is crazy. It says, "Blood trail outside front door." I mean, that is a significant amount of blood right there. And that's passive blood drop, so that means it's dripping straight down when the person is stationary for a moment. And apparently it's right over here. That looks like that's likely the front door. Let's go ahead and take a look at Google Earth again. You can probably see it might be right inside there. I don't believe there's other doors on this side that go into the house. I see a garage door there, but I think that's the main entry. So let's take a look at this footage right here. So there is like kind of a brick area in there. And this is still frames from a drone that was out there. Oh, man, that's right over there. Holy crap. That's crazy. That's right there. Wow. So there's blood right in that area. Is that... She wouldn't be staying in there, would she? So that is incredible. Let's go back to the TMZ footage. Or images. See that they went, I think, down here. Where were we looking? Yeah, right there. Look. See that image? That has that oval shaped doormat. And when we go back to that image that I was just showing you, look, that's right there, I think. Now, it's also possible they have another doormat that looks just like that inside the enclosed area, but that does look like brick here, although, the whole house is made up of that. But just for now, we might say that's a possibility that the blood is right there. Let me go back to here. So I see that, and there's like a little dirt right there. And yeah, that doesn't match that too well right there. That little dirt. So maybe that's at the front door. I don't know if we can... Let's go see if we can find that shot again. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe there was a mat right there, but that doesn't look like the same kind of ground. I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see, but man, that's pretty interesting that there's the similar mat shape right there. All right, so I'm looking at this as we're talking. I didn't have time. I just happened to see it as I was recording this video. And it says there is a trail of blood leading away from the front door. So it is the front door, they're saying, of the Arizona home of today anchor Savannah Guthrie kidnapped mom. And it's all on video. New footage captured by News Nation senior national correspondent Bryan Entin shows blood drops and splatter on Nancy Guthrie's front porch. Nancy was reported missing Sunday. Cops say she was snatched from her bed in the middle of the night, and it looks like there's an unopened Amazon package on the porch too. Wow. So that's absolutely crazy, you guys. So tonight, obviously, we'll be discussing some of this. So now we see that there is evidence of, there's blood on the ground there. I think there's probably evidence of a struggle inside the house. There was a word that the sheriff was about to say yesterday in yesterday's press conference, and he kind of avoided saying it, but it sounded like he was about to say a struggle. All right? So that's pretty incredible to get this shot right here. It must have just been there on the ground. I mean, I guess you could just walk right up to the house and take a photograph of it. You would think law enforcement would still have the place surrounded and not allow just, you know, random people to walk in there, but you got it. So good job there, Bryan Entin, for getting that information. And there's the closer up shot of that. So let me know in the comments what you guys think is going on here. This seems a hell of a lot more ominous now. I would think that if you're, it could be that they did abduct her to put out a ransom, and because she fought back, she got a bloody nose or something. That kind of looks a little bit like that. However, in this case right here, I'm not sure. Like if this portion here, that almost looks like aspirated. Like it's really fine mist right in there, but then there's droplets. So it could be that the face was close to the ground, a cough, and then some drops came out. All right, but let me know in the comments what you think's going on here. But it definitely isn't good news at all. And I think what we're looking at is this portion right there is right here, and this is right there. So those are probably 6-inch tiles, and I wonder if there's continual blood droplets all the way down the sidewalk. So that would indicate that Nancy was removed from the front of the house. So looking at Google Earth here, she probably was moved. Well, there's no street view there, but I would say she probably was taken out right like this and then into a car that may have been parked right there. I said on the show yesterday that maybe the car drove in like this and then stopped and then pulled out. And if we look again at the photographs that we were looking at, let's go back here. See right there on the ground, there seems to be a car track, kind of at a weird angle too. It's not as if, in this case, it doesn't look quite like they were, like they drove around like this. It almost seems like they backed in there, because look at how the wheel would go way over there, and I would imagine that the left wheel is right there, if that's what we're looking at here. There is some sort of a mark on the ground there, and I'm wondering if that's associated. And then over here, there's marks on the ground, but those appear to be wheel tracks. I thought maybe those were leg tracks originally until I saw this one, and that looked like a vehicle had come out of there. In fact, if you go to this one, you can see that it's just sort of a heavier vehicle, and it pushed the dirt around on the sides. Okay. All right, you guys, we're going to be going over this tonight, so thank you all very much for watching this video. If you could share it, that'd be great. Subscribe to the channel, that would be awesome too. Again, thanks for watching, and as I always say, until next time, be safe out there.